Hello, and welcome back to the podcast where you are invited for lighthearted conversations about things that matter as you seek to live your most meaningful, beautiful, and joyful life. I'm your host, Dr. Edie Wadsworth, and I hope you enjoy your stay here at the House of Joy. Well, hi, dear ones. Welcome back to House of Joy. Welcome back to YouTube if you're watching us on YouTube. I am so honored to be with you this week. We have a great topic this week, but before we get into it, we're going to talk today about your nervous system. We're going to talk about regulating your nervous system and regulating your emotions, especially if you've been living in fight or flight. And you're going to love this topic. We have some great stuff to share, but I want to let you know before we even dive in that this is workshop week, you guys. This is workshop week. I love our workshops. We do 4 a year. This one is called Design Your Life, Live Your Purpose. The topic that we're covering today, we're going to expand on it during the workshop. So if you have been living in default mode, if you have been living in survival mode, this is the workshop for you. You are going to love this week. We start on Wednesday. So if you haven't signed up, go sign up, ediewadsworthcoaching.com/design. I'm going to share with you everything I know about how to really create a life you absolutely love, how to live in the emotional state you want to live in, which is what we're going to talk about today, and how to stop feeling like you're at the effect of your life, that you're just always reacting to things, and that you're going to move into creation mode. You're going to move into creating your life on purpose, living with way more joy, way more freedom, way more purpose, way more meaning. So that is what we're covering this week. I can hardly wait. We start Wednesday for the price of a Starbucks. You can join us. If you decide that you want to upgrade, I don't have it down here. If you decide that you want to upgrade, we'll ship you our workbook. You don't need it in order to have it for this particular few days that we're together, but you can keep using it over the next month. So if you decide you want to do that, we'd love to ship you that. And we won't have another workshop till the end of the year. So if you want to finish the last 90 days of 2025 strong and go into 2026 on fire, really living your life intentionally, then join us. We can't wait. Okay, so let's dive in. Today is all about regulating our nervous system, moving from living in fight or flight survival mode to living in a way that we really enjoy living, where we are not just surviving, we are thriving, where we are living from our true self, where we're creating that emotional state that we really want to live in. There's really, you guys, only 2 main emotional states. So I don't know if you know this, but the 2 main emotional states that you can live in, one is called fight or flight. It is equal to the sympathetic nervous system, where you're kind of living in stress mode all the time. Raise your hand if that's you. The other main emotional nervous system mode you can live in, and by the way, the stress mode, the fight or flight mode, is governed in fear. That's the main emotion. That's the main thing driving it. When you live in your parasympathetic nervous system, when you're governed by that and you're really living your life in kind of thrive mode, those emotions are more like love, joy, peace, gratitude. Those are the emotions we all want to be living in, but most of us, literally probably 80% of people, are stuck in stress mode, are stuck in some version of fight or flight. Now, when I was practicing medicine, when I was trained as a physician, my mentor taught me that 70 to 80% of the people that would come into your office for any variety of things, headaches, blood pressure problems, trouble sleeping, he taught me that 70 to 80% of the time, there's something psychological, emotional, psychosocial at the root of that. So don't just say, hey, can we treat these headaches? Try to figure out like, okay, what's at the root of that? And that statistic didn't surprise me at all, but I think it could even be higher now, that so many of us are living in reactive mode. We are living in a time where we're exposed to more horrible things in the world in a day than we ever would have seen in a whole lifetime. Our bodies aren't built for this stress mode. I think our over connection on phones and under or on devices and under connection in real life is adding to this. There's so many things adding to it. But I do believe that we have never lived in a time where more people are kind of living in this sort of stress mode, overwhelm, fear, worry, anxiety, all of that than we ever have before. And I know this all too well because I spent so much of my life living in this mode. And I have finally, over the last 10 years, really retrained myself, retrained my nervous system, learned how to create emotional resilience, emotional intelligence, and learn how to create the emotional state that I want to live in, which is the one governed by love, which is the one governed by peace and joy and gratitude and playfulness and all of those things. And obviously, it doesn't mean that you're always living in that mode. It just means that you recognize when you get out of it. You recognize when you're back in fear, when you're back in fight or flight, when you're back in stress and anxiety and overthinking and anger and resentment and chaos, and you get back to where you want to be. You get back to your true self, your true state. We just spent this last weekend. We took our grandbaby boys to see the Vols play, and every time I'm with little ones, you guys, it reminds me like, oh, this is what we were created for. This curious sense of wonder about the world, this trust and faith that we have as little ones that we lose. And I think, especially as believers who confess that we have faith in God, that we believe He has our best interest at heart, that we believe He's going to take care of us, that we believe somehow all of this mess is going to work out for our good. We say that's what we believe, but that's not how we live. We live in cortisol and adrenaline and stress, and we live in a way that isn't really congruent with what we say we believe. And I think that the more we become aware of how we're doing this and how on these devices that we're on all the time, how it's driving us more toward that. Several years ago, Stevie and I just kind of decided like, oh, we don't want to live our life by the news cycle. After, I would say like maybe after 9/11, we just got addicted to the news, like sitting all the time watching way too much news. And it occurred to us a few years ago, oh, their job is to just keep us in fear all the time, to keep us believing that everybody's divided, to keep us believing whatever, certain things. And I have been so much more able to stay in the emotional state that I think we were created for by God to live in, since I don't make a steady diet of the news. You know how every house has that one spot that you think about all day long, the place you can't wait to retreat to? Well, for me, it's my bed. Y'all, I do not know what kind of magic Cozy Earth is weaving into these sheets, but the second I climb in, I feel my whole body relax. They're soft, cool, and just different than anything I've ever slept on. And I'll be honest, I was away this weekend at a beautiful Airbnb in Seaside, Florida. The house was incredible, but I miss my sheets. They really are that good. The bamboo sheets are temperature regulating, so even in these warm September nights, I'm sleeping several degrees cooler. I wake up rested instead of tossing and turning. And here's the best part. You can try them risk-free with their 100-night sleep trial. And they back it with a 10-year warranty. But trust me, once you try them, you'll never want to send them back. So if you're ready to make your bed your favorite place in the house, head to cozyearth.com and use my code HOJ for 40% off. And if you get a survey afterward, make sure to tell them you heard about Cozy Earth right here, because your bed should be more than a place to sleep. It should be your happy place. And Cozy Earth makes that possible. I understand that this way of living, especially as a physician, what I learned in my years practicing medicine and what I've learned since then is that your body is the most powerful pharmacy on earth. And if you keep asking your body, and a lot of us, me, myself included, I grew up in an environment where my body learned how to be in fight or flight. It didn't feel safe. And I learned how to cope by living in this fear, worry, kind of low grade, anxious, low grade, sad, like all of these negative emotions. That's what I learned how to live in. And it's hard to break out of that. It becomes your habit. You start to think that's just who you are. But what really happens is that you have just rehearsed these negative emotion cycles and negative thought cycles so much that this just becomes what your body knows how to do. And because your body is a powerful pharmacy, you think those same negative thoughts, you stay in those negative thought loops, you keep rehearsing this stress and overwhelm and anxiety, and you will make this a way of life. We literally get addicted to our own stress chemistry. The chemistry of stress is very addictive. And it's hard to break out of. And most people don't even realize they're in it. They're like, no, don't you just understand? Look around. How could you not also be in a stress cycle all the time? But no matter what is happening in the world, you guys, and here's the truth, we've always lived in chaos and hard times. If you read history, this it isn't new. And I don't want us to use that as an excuse to live in a way that's damaging to our body, damaging to our relationships, damaging to our marriages, damaging to our jobs, just in a way that doesn't feel good to us and is not creating health and creativity and productivity and connection, all of those things that I think God created us for. So ask yourself, am I living this way? Am I living in a constant stress cycle? Am I living addicted to these negative thought cycles and negative emotion cycles and literally what happens is you get so used to it that you just look around and find reasons for why you should stay in it. And trust me, all of us can find reasons why we should be stressed and why we should live in fear and why we should stay in it. But I believe that as Christians, as followers of Christ, we also have the mind of Christ. We also have this renewed part of ourselves that can, instead of living in these constant stress cycles, in this fight or flight, getting our nervous system all dysregulated, instead of that, we can live in faith that He is in control, that He will take care of us no matter what is going on, that we always have what we need. And I can tell you that since living this way, oh my gosh, I'm so satisfied and have this deep down sense of joy. That's why I call my podcast House of Joy. I've had to fight for this. This doesn't come naturally for me. I have had to discipline my mind and discipline my emotional life so that I don't constantly live in a cycle like this, so that I can be with my beautiful, amazing grandbabies and truly just enjoy it to my core, so that I can live in an emotional state of peace and love and grace and forgiveness. It has been a discipline, like a spiritual discipline for me. And this is something that you can create in your life without evidence, without external reasons. You're always going to be able to find a ton of reasons to be stressed and overwhelmed and anxious and fearful. But would you dare have the courage to create a different way of living? I promise you, your external circumstances don't have to change. You can just create this because this is how God made you. In Romans, it talks about if you want to transform your life, renew your mind. And as you renew your mind, because your body is a powerful pharmacy, you will start to create this emotional state, this parasympathetic state, scientists call it, of love and joy and peace. And that mode of living will get you out of survival and into healing and into creativity and connection and purpose. It's a much higher way of living. It's a much higher vibration. They've measured these vibrations, you guys. And when you're living in fight or flight, you are damaging your body. Your body can't survive in this chemistry of stress all the time. And when you shift this, they've also shown that these healing molecules that your body produces literally heal you. They have a much higher vibration. The energy of those emotions, it's a healing energy. And we as people of faith should be going first here. We should be the ones going, yeah, we don't have to follow the news or follow this in order to get in order to decide what we want to create in our lives, because there's always going to be reasons, a million of them, to live this way. But I don't think this is God's best or his highest for us. It doesn't mean that we tune it out. It just means we realize, like, oh, I have to be really disciplined, because otherwise I'm going to end up in a negative thought and emotion cycle that's not going to be good for me, that's going to be bad for me, and therefore bad for the people that I serve and that I take care of. God designed that system for emergencies, but we've gotten to the point where we just live in that system all the time. And the problem is, so many of us don't know how to regulate ourselves, don't know how to balance ourselves, don't know how to get out of that so that we can really function at our highest. So let me ask you this. When you are completely stressed out and overwhelmed and living in survival mode and living in fight or flight, is that working? Are you able to come up with good solutions for your life when you live like that? Are you able to cultivate beautiful relationships when you live like that? No, because it puts you in this reactive mode where you feel like you're at the effect of your life. You feel like, I don't even know. You feel like you don't have any control. And that's not true. You have so much agency and so much power. And when you learn how to transition from that survival, fight or flight mode into this powerful emotional state of love and connection and creativity and productivity, when you learn how to transition to that, you realize, like, oh, this is how we're supposed to live. You have access to your wisdom, to your judgment. You have this calm in the midst of storms that is baffling to most people. You're a very grounding and magnetic person to be around in times like we're living in, because so many people are not. You can find reasons to be grateful. You can find reasons to be in awe of your life, even in hard times. These emotions that you create from these thoughts and this way of living gives your body this signal, like, you're safe now. You can be creative. You can find solutions. Your body can heal itself now. And when your body believes this and starts to live in this more regulated system, everything starts to change. And these are the practices that I teach my clients. Things like awareness, just becoming aware, first of all, of how often am I living in a state of fight or flight, this survival mode, and I don't even realize it. So just the awareness, having compassion for yourself. Like, oh, you don't have to be mad at yourself. You can go, oh, I see why I'm prone to that. I had a lot of compassion for myself because I could see why I was prone to that from my childhood. But also, I'm an adult now, and I'm the one who can be in charge of this emotional state that I'm in, this mindset that I have. And then the daily practice of doing it, the daily discipline of doing it. So this is available to everybody. And you can just decide, like, I'm so tired of living this way. I'm so tired of living in overwhelm, in reaction mode, always losing my cool, always feeling out of control, always feeling reactive, always feeling helpless. That's your false self, stuck in fear and scarcity, where you feel like you're always having to protect yourself. Your true self, the one God created to live in joy and abundance and peace, that version of you is also here and available. And you have to practice being her. You have to give her as many reps as you give all of this negativity. How often are you practicing that? Imagine starting your day from this place of being so excited, so in awe of your life that you get to be here and live another day, that you get to make this food for your people, that you get to do this work that you're doing, that you get to go, maybe go for a walk or go to the gym, where you're literally living in awe of your life instead of just reactive and stressed and tense all of the time. And listen, everybody has things that we could all be stressed about. But is it serving you? Is it helping you come up with solutions? I don't think so. Choose love and joy over fear and overwhelm. Choose an emotional state that helps you live the kind of life you want to live and be the kind of person you want to be. This is exactly what we are going to do in the workshop this week, you guys. If you want to come join us, we're going to talk about how to break free from this survival mode, how to reconnect to your God-given purpose so that no matter what is going on in the world, you know beyond a shadow of doubt what you're called here to do. We're going to talk about building rhythms that bring back this peace and joy and rewiring your nervous system for the life that you want instead of constantly repeating patterns that you don't. So, design your life, live your purpose, leave your legacy. It is going to be 3 fire days. I'm going to be bringing it, you guys, and I want you to be there. There are nothing like these workshops. We have almost 3,000 people signed up for this workshop, and I literally can't wait. So it's on Wednesday. Come join us, grab your spot, ediewadsworthcoaching.com/design. And I can't wait to see you on the next podcast. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye for now.